Let's talk politics for a moment while I have you. There's a big Republican debate coming up next week. I take it you're going to, have you been told already, you'll be in that second tier?
I qualify in all the polls they're looking at, we qualify.
So you'll be in the second tier. You won't be on the main stage. How disappointing is that to you?
Well, look, it's difficult. I mean, I have people come up to me all the time and say, you know, I wish you were running. I said, well, I am running. Oh, really? I haven't seen you in the debates. And so, you know, the fact that the RNC and the networks have segmented this field, I think has been a real injustice to a lot of candidates who, as we proved 4 years ago, who can sit back in the polls and the national polls. I mean, you look at Chris Christie, who's dropping down into the second debate. You know, he's running, you know, 5th in New Hampshire, 6th in New Hampshire. I mean, you have a guy who may be kicked out of the debate, who's, you know, Bobby Jindal, who's running, you know, in the top 10 right now in one of the polls, at least in Iowa. This is the problem with using national polls that have no relationship to who actually the strongest candidates are in the states that matter, and that's in Iowa and New Hampshire. And I showed that 4 years ago. I was at 2% in the national polls the week before I won the Iowa caucuses. So I guess if you'd have excluded anybody, you'd have excluded me from the last debate in Iowa, and I went on to win the caucus.
This last Fox poll, and they're going to use it, obviously. They're going to announce later tonight who's in the first tier, the second tier, who's in no tier at all. It has you basically at 0. If you take a look, Trump's at 26, Carson 23, Cruz 11, Rubio 11, Bush is only at 4%, everybody else low single digits. You're not even registering on this poll. And Donald Trump says anyone that low in the national polls should do this. Listen to what he said. Listen to this.
Do I think it's time to have some of the other Republican candidates drop out? Yes. There are too many people. Look, if a person's been campaigning for 4 or 5 months and they're at 0 or 1 or 2%, they should get out.
All right,
your
your response.
I never knew Donald Trump was afraid of competition. I mean, that sort of surprises me that he would say that you know, competition's a good thing. And again, this I think shows a little bit of the lack of understanding of how this system works. We don't have a national primary. We have a state-by-state primary. And the first state is the one that I've been focusing my attention on. I feel very, very confident we're going to do well. I think we're going to do very, very well. And in fact,
you're talking about Iowa.
And Iowa. So again, I go back to the national polls not being a predictor of anything. And, you know, Donald's not been in the political realm that much. He probably doesn't understand these things. But the fact is that we go state by state. And I feel very comfortable when those votes are cast, we're going to be in good shape.
But even the Iowa polls don't have you at the top tier right now.
You know, our numbers are really good. Our favorables are really high. We have a good spread. People like us. Everywhere we go, we get very positive. You know, you're on my list. Right now, you just want to be on people's lists. What I found 4 years ago is people are going to go through a lot of different candidates. According to the Des Moines Register poll, 88% of Iowans haven't made up their mind yet. When I won the Iowa caucuses 4 years ago, over 50% of the people who voted for me decided in the last 3 days. This is a wide open race right now. Anything can happen. And the idea that we're going to start culling candidates or creating top tiers and bottom tiers, which is what the National Party and the networks have done, to me is a travesty to this election. And it's something that needs to be stopped and allow every candidate to be heard who has the right to be heard.
Sounds like you're not very happy with Reince Priebus, the chairman of the Republican National Committee.
I think the way this campaign has been orchestrated, the debates have been orchestrated, was to fight a problem from last time around and not anticipating what this would be. I would agree, we probably had too many debates last time. This time we don't have enough, and we aren't being inclusive. And I think in both cases that's not helpful to the voter.
And so you're definitely staying at least through Iowa.
My plan is I always say the most important thing to do is get to the start line. And so far, a couple of folks haven't. Our intention is to get there, and we feel very comfortable once we do, we'll be fine.
Rick Santorum, thanks for coming in.
Thank you.
Good luck out there on the campaign trail.